Jennifer from the Worcester branch of the Wayne County Public Library. Today, I'd like to share with you the April book selection for the Fantasy Fiction Fanatics Book Club, The Daughters of Izdihar by Hadir Elsbai. What would you do to create change in society? How far would you go to fight for justice? Nehal, a highborn lady, must marry wealthy Nico to settle her father's gambling debts. But she would rather be one of the first women to attend the Alamaksa Weaving Academy in order to learn how to control and use her water weaving powers and possibly join the first all-female military division. Georgina, a poor young woman working in a bookshop, has joined the Daughters of Izdihar, a women's group determined to advocate for women's right to vote and to lift up women from poverty. She dreams of someday marrying her studious suitor, Nico, but she also struggles to control her earth weaving and to remain anonymous at the daughters' rallies. While their different connections to one man would normally put them at odds, these two women find ways to learn from each other and to support each other while fighting for women's rights in a society where most traditionally minded men, and some women, believe women should be protected and confined. And when the pushback to their resistance movement becomes violent, they learn how to step into their own power. I was captivated immediately by the early 20th century Egypt-inspired setting, as well as by the elemental magic system described in the book. The story alternates between Nehal and Georgina's points of view, so the reader gets greater insight into both characters, their motivations, and their reactions. After a somewhat info-heavy beginning, the story moves along quickly, racing to a dramatic cliffhanger finish. While Nehal initially comes across as a spoiled brat, we also quickly see her idealism and her absolutist views of society and women, and her total willingness to use her privilege to fight for other women. Are her actions and views entirely sensible or helpful? Not always, but you can never deny her commitment. Georgina is slower to find her voice and her strength, but we continually see how her impoverished and more conservative upbringing, as well as some of her adult choices, would make her more hesitant to stand up publicly for what she believes in. The Georgina at the end of the book is a much different, much stronger woman than the one we first met. The love triangle between Nehal, Nico, and Georgina gets a radically different treatment here than in most books. And while Nico often appears passive and unwilling to get outside of his comfort zone, he does support both women in their activities and does nothing to pit them against each other. The book contains many layers that feel very relatable to today's society, between the pushback to conservative views of women's rights and the fight for justice and the desire for bigger societal changes. While some of the characters' actions may seem extreme at times, they are still believable, given historical precedents and current tensions. The thoughtful reader will find much in this book that raises the question, what will you do with your privilege, whatever that privilege may be? Content warnings for this book include misogyny, forced marriage, queerphobia, mentions of rape and abortion, brutality, and death. If any of these topics are challenging for you, please be kind to yourself when you consider reading. The Fantasy Fiction Fanatics Book Club meets the first Thursday of every month here at the library, and we will discuss The Daughters of Izdihar on Thursday, April 4th at 7 p.m. You can register for the program on the library's events calendar or Facebook page. The book is available at Worcester and through CleveNet, and you can also find the ebook on Libby and the ebook and e-audiobook on Hoopla. Happy reading!